Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, TSPRavshiva. This is the Daily Sutra Oumuamua. If you don't know about it, I guess for the last decade or so, they've been keeping track of it, and they found that in the beginning, when it first came into the Earth's orbit, or close to Earth's orbit and the Sun, that it looped around the Sun and actually went faster. It increased in speed as it was doing so. The reason that's strange is that anything that gets caught up in the gravitational fields of these large bodies usually get pulled by the force, and force of gravity, and they get taken into different directions, and maybe even slows down the speed a bit. But this actually moved on its own in a different direction and actually sped up against the position that it was the gravitational force was going. And I think so they said there must be some kind of propulsion system on it for it to be able to do that. Also, the fact that it navigated not too far from the Earth, and it's kind of strange when you think about it, guys. So this is something that we have to pay very close attention to. I actually drew a picture of this at one point. I have to find it, and I didn't even know it existed when I drew the picture. I just drew the picture of a large cylindrical object, and you can see the shadow on the moon. So it's funny, and then I found out a couple of years later that there was something called Oumuamua after I drew that picture. Isn't that weird? And this is very similar. But guys, without further ado, let's move forward and let's take a look at this, guys. I'm really curious to see what's happening now.
A new government report is raising eyebrows across the country, especially among anyone interested in extraterrestrial.
It moved too fast to be bound to the sun. Very first object that we have found coming to us from interstellar space, from other places.
That's me floating through space. Look, it's my head. No, but that's Oumuamua. Look at that.
Alien visitor in 2017 until Oumuamua showed up. Its odd shape and strange behavior left scientists baffled, sparking wild theories, including those of alien origins. Discovered by Hawaiian astronomers, its name, meaning messenger from afar, adds to its enigmatic charm.
Which is awesome.
Oumuamua, which is an object that we detected in space that you believe could possibly have been extraterrestrial.
But now, NASA scientists have issued a final, shocking warning. Oumuamua is not what we thought, and it's heading back to Earth right now. Join us as we race against time to uncover its true nature before it approaches our planet again. The Star Traveler's first visit. Oumuamua is really important because it's the first thing ever to come into our solar system from somewhere else far away in space. This is a huge deal, and very interesting because it's unlike anything we've ever encountered. Imagine someone or something new showing up in your neighborhood. That's how scientists feel about Oumuamua. When it was first noticed in the year 2017, it caught everyone by surprise. Since then, people, especially scientists...
Just really quick, they noticed it in 2017. I drew my picture, I think, in 2014 or 2015, so it was a couple years beforehand. And it looks very similar to this thing. It's really weird. So that's a form of being able to kind of like have some kind of it's called like precognition about something. And they've been doing a lot of research in the CIA and the FBI and KGB and all these big groups about people being able to view things from afar. It doesn't have to be here. It could be on another planet. It could be another side of the planet, another country. And, having this ability, I've had this for quite a long time since I was a kid. I was able to find things for people when they lost it just by seeing it in my mind. And this type of viewing is very interesting. It's borderline psychic, on that level, but it's interesting. Let's hear what he has to say.
Have been really curious, trying hard to understand what this object is and where it originated from. It's not like the normal space rocks or ice balls, known as asteroids and comets, that we usually find zooming around our sun. That's what makes it so special and a bit of a puzzle for everyone. When we speak about Oumuamua, we're discussing a very intriguing topic in the world of astronomy guest at a gathering where everyone is interested in learning more about the newcomer. What makes it stand out is its strangeness and how it differs from everything we're used to in our cosmic environment. This has sparked a lot of enthusiasm and curiosity among the scientific community. Many intelligent people have been dedicating their time and effort to solve this space riddle. They're brainstorming and putting forward different theories, all in an attempt to unravel the secrets of this unusual space object. This endeavor has quickly become a prominent subject of discussion and research in the field of space exploration and study. The tale of Oumuamua began on a memorable day, October 19, 2017, marking an exciting moment for those who love to gaze at the night sky. In the scenic landscapes of Hawaii, there's this massive observational tool known as Pan-STARRS-1. Its primary mission is usually to scan the heavens for any asteroids that could potentially approach Earth, posing a threat. However, on this particular day, something unusual happened. A space scientist named Robert Warwick, who is particularly adept at deciphering the mysteries of the cosmos, was reviewing the data captured by the telescope. What he stumbled upon was extraordinarily peculiar. This object, which would soon acquire the name Oumuamua, didn't resemble the typical celestial bodies, such as space rocks, asteroids, or comets, that frequently orbit our sun. The discovery of this bizarre entity swiftly caught the attention of space enthusiasts and professional astronomers around the globe. They were all eager to shift their telescopic lenses towards this anomaly to gather more information.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Michio Kaku. He's very famous. He's an Asian American physicist, and when he spoke, there's a video on him which I should have pulled up, right? So you could watch it. Maybe I'll do it in the next video. But when he spoke on Oumuamua, he was really excited about it, and a lot of other scientists or physicists and astrophysicists were very excited about this Oumuamua and what it was doing, and they were trying to figure out how it did it. So there was a lot of speculation and a lot of theories that came out of this, but I was very curious myself, man. You know, I told you I drew that picture, and then I saw this a couple of years later, and I said, whoa, this is strange, you know? I was like, what the hell's going on here? And it's weird, man. It's really weird, because I do believe that we pick up things on a telepathic level as well as in our dreams, you know, because what happens in our dreams? Where do we go, you know? And I think we can connect to so many different things if we learn to understand these things, instead of dismiss everything like most people continuously do, is dismiss it as, oh, it's just a dream. But what's a dream? You know, can you define it? You know, and nobody can really define it, not even doctors, or not even physicists or scientists or anyone really, you know, and they kind of like think it's just the interplay of information at random, dealing with some of the things, issues that we have in our experiences in life. It's kind of like a exhaust from a car or something. It's, you know, cleaning itself out, or, well, I don't believe that. That sounds too mechanical. For something that works above and beyond the world of physics, you cannot apply a mechanical idea to it, or even the logic of physics to it, because it goes beyond that logic, so that makes no sense. But anyway, let's go further and see what they say.
The efforts to observe and analyze it were intense and widespread. What emerged from their collective observations was nothing short of astonishing. This object wasn't behaving like the usual members of our solar system family. It wasn't gravitating around the sun in a regular expected path. Instead,
See?
it was just cruising through, indicating that its origins lay beyond our familiar celestial boundaries. Consequently, it was aptly named Oumuamua, a beautiful and evocative Hawaiian word chosen by those who first identified it. This term translates to a messenger from afar arriving first, a name that perfectly encapsulates its role as a sort of interstellar herald. It's similar to receiving a visit or a sign from a distant corner of our galaxy, making it not just an object of scientific curiosity, but also a symbol of the vast and mysterious nature of our universe. This incident sparked a wave of excitement and intrigue within the scientific community, as it represented a tangible piece of evidence of the interconnectedness of cosmic phenomena, serving as a reminder of the Oumuamua isn't just an ordinary name for this mysterious object from outer space. It serves as a big thank you to the people and the culture of Hawaii, acknowledging their significant contribution to the discovery of new celestial bodies.
And what was that contribution? They used some kind of laser and blew the shit out of a portion of Hawaii where people live. They're not rich, but very wealthy billionaires had something happen. It was on the news. They said there were places, like the entire place was like basically incinerated, but every place that had the specific color blue to it somehow survived. And then you hear there were some reports of on the news where you hear them talking about having this color blue put on different places will prevent this whatever's causing the fire to ignite, maybe a laser or something like that. And we have this technology now, guys, and people don't realize it. Our technology is insane. It's out there. It's probably from out there, if anything. Anyway, I don't want to get into that now, but let's take a look.
The discovery of Oumuamua has a special connection to Hawaii, and the name reflects this bond and appreciation. When the experts in space study, known as astronomers, first caught a glimpse of Oumuamua,
sorry, guys. Try saying it. It's actually fun.
Classification was based on its appearance, which lacked the typical characteristics of comets, such as a surrounding cloud of gas and dust, often referred to as a coma, or a tail that trails behind them as they travel through space. However, things took an unexpected turn when Oumuamua began to exit our solar system. It started to accelerate.
There you go.
Speed in a manner that was quite surprising.
Propulsion.
This acceleration is a trait commonly associated with comets, not asteroids. Comets have this unique ability to speed up because as they get closer to the sun, the heat causes them to emit gas and dust. This release acts like a natural rocket engine propelling the comet forward. But here's where the story gets even more intriguing. Oumuamua didn't display any of the usual signs of a comet. There were no visible emissions of gas or dust, no fuzzy halo, and no tail following its path.
Some propulsion
This
system.
lack of typical comet behavior left scientists scratching their heads in wonder. They were puzzled because Oumuamua was acting like a comet in some ways, but looked like an asteroid in others. This strange combination of characteristics made Oumuamua an object of fascination and mystery. It challenged previous understandings and opened up a whole new set of questions about what this object could be and where it came from. What will we find out as we investigate this space mystery? Come with us as we explore the strange world of Oumuamua.
I'll tell you what, guys, I'm totally intrigued, and I don't know when this is supposed to get here. I should find that out, like if it's close by and how close it is, because we're having the eclipse of the moon on April 8th, and I wonder why they're bringing the National Guard in and setting up military installments on different parts of the area that it's going to be passing over. I'm confused on why they'd be doing that. And then they were telling people to stock up on food and stock up on devices that generators and things like that. So stock up food, water, and generators. So I'm trying to figure out why they would put that as a prerequisite to viewing the solar eclipse. It doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure what it means. It's puzzling because we don't really know what's going on. They always keep us in the dark until something happens, So I do believe that there's something special about this Oumuamua because of the sole fact of its trajectory changing on its own and then also increasing in speed. So you have, increase in velocity, trajectory, being able to change on its own, going against the gravitational pull of the celestial bodies out there. And when you have things like that, you have to wonder what are the other forces involved here. So that's what the physicists will be looking at, is that what could have caused this object in space, Oumuamua, to move off of the normal trajectory of what they think is the normal trajectory of going through our solar system and to go against the actual gravitational. So it's a good question. I hope that nobody's come up with an answer. There's a lot of physicists out there. One in particular, I can't remember his name now, but he was the one that was very excited about this. He's also a very well respected physicist, but they were saying that he made this comment about this being alien, and everybody started frowning upon him. And it doesn't make any sense, because if you're in the field of physics, which I'm studying now, it doesn't make sense that you would frown upon someone that's giving a much better idea or speculation, if anything, about this object, than saying that, well, it's God sending his armies coming in to destroy everyone. I mean, it's like, those people get more credit than the scientists and the physicists do. And I don't know why. It's like the strangest thing. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's just confuses me.
A very different kind of space rock. Nowadays, some scientists have started to think of Oumuamua as a kind of sneaky comet, different from the ones we usually see. They
Sneaky
propose
comet?
that it might be releasing a very small amount of gas or dust. So small, in fact, that our space telescopes can't catch it. This tiny, almost invisible puffing.
You ever wonder what would happen, like, if, let's say you didn't have to wear a suit in space, right? Somehow you... Okay, no, I'll use Superman. Let's say Superman is in space, right? He's just floating there. Imagine what would happen if he farted. Would it send him flying into, like, another direction? Would that... Because, he's Superman. His farts must be very powerful. It's like propulsion system on its own. But I'm just saying, imagine if he passed gas while he was just floating in space. Would it just... I'm just curious. I know it's really dumb. I probably shouldn't even be thinking about that, but it just crossed my mind. So if there's any physicists out there that want to answer that question, I'll be very happy to hear the answer. Just kidding, guys.
Could be the reason why Oumuamua is picking up speed as it leaves our solar system. If this is true, then Oumuamua would represent a new type of comet, one that doesn't fit the usual image we have, big, bright, with a long tail. This would make Oumuamua a kind of undercover comet, blending in without the typical features that let us recognize comets from afar.
It also could be an undercover alien blending in, looking like a rock flying through space. They're not mentioning that. That could be also plausible in the situation, because it has some odd, weird, unique factors already to it. So add that onto it. You can speculate in that area without looking crazy. So I would speculate that.
On the other hand, there's a more radical theory that's been thrown into the mix by Avi Loeb.
Yeah, Avi Loeb. That's
Harvard.
him. Yeah, Harvard
He's come
professor.
up with a rather astonishing idea that takes us into the realm of science fiction. Loeb suggests that perhaps Oumuamua isn't a natural object like a comet or asteroid at all. He imagines it could be a piece of advanced technology from another civilization.
That's what I
Imagine
think.
a super thin reflective sheet or sail that's catching sunlight to glide through space, similar to how a sailboat catches wind to move through water.
Solar winds.
This
I get it.
could be an artificial object sent from far away, maybe even from another solar system. Loeb points out that Oumuamua's unusual shape, its shiny surface, and the strange way it moves don't match up with our typical understanding of natural space bodies. What makes Loeb's suggestion so captivating is the implication behind it. If Oumuamua were actually a probe from an alien civilization,
That's what I
it
think.
would be a monumental discovery, indicating that there might be other intelligent life forms out there.
The scary part to this, guys, is that for us, we would look at it as being something amazing and really wonderful. But imagine if there's like a Thanos, from the Avengers out there, and he's sending his probe here to check us out and say, oh yeah, these guys ain't that developed yet. And we had sent the, I forgot what it's called. It was some kind of CD or something out there into space with a satellite. And it kind of gave our location and things about us and all that stuff, which probably was not the smartest thing to do if there are other, alien life out there in the universe, which most likely there is. Probably also much higher in intelligence than we are, because they've probably had more time to develop than we did. Now, if that's the case, we know that we here on Earth, us humans, like to go to other places and pretty much kill everyone and take what they have and use some excuse to do it, whether it's weapons of mass destruction. The excuses that we're going to do that for, right? If you think about how scary this situation really is, it's like we see something that kind of looks natural, but then again, it's not moving natural. So the only thing let's say if there was going to be an alien attack here on Earth, right now would be the most vital time for us to try to prepare. But we're caught at the level right now where other physicists of very high standing are kind of looking down even on Avi Loeb or anyone that proposes this idea. So just because of our pompous attitudes as physicists and not allowing the mind to be open to such ideas, we could be in a real situation here, guys. The reality is, there could be, like I said, a Thanos out there, and we don't really have any Avengers here on Earth, guys. I mean, I don't really know of any. And the last one that some superhero guy that was dressed up in some weird suit and was fighting crime, he ended up selling crack and all this other stuff. So he was the only Avenger that I remember, or something like a hero, and he's not around. So who do we have? I mean, what do we have? Do we have the capability to fight against something that has the ability to do the things that this thing does? That has the technology like that? Are we capable of it? Or are we only capable of going into the Mideast and bombing people that are already in the Dark Ages back into the, darker ages? That usually seems like what we do as, humans here on this planet. But nobody wants to go into a nuclear war, of course, but we also don't want to get into a situation where a higher life form, intelligence species comes here and just says, all right, we're going to take this planet. Then we'll all have to go to war, that would be, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely out of shape. I don't think I could fight like how I used to. So anyway, I'm just, speculating and throwing things out there, but let's take a look at this ominous face here with the 3 glowing eyes and the nose on top of the forehead. What a weird looking dude. All right.
It's a thought that excites and stirs the imagination, suggesting that we might not be alone in this vast universe.
That looks cool.
However, while this
So does
idea
that.
is thrilling, it's also important to be cautious. This alien theory is just one of many, and most experts in the field remain skeptical. They tend to lean towards more conventional explanations that stick to natural cosmic phenomena, especially since the alien hypothesis is a big leap with the evidence we have. Plus, with Oumuamua now far beyond our reach, and so much still unknown about it, and indeed, about the myriad other mysteries lurking in the vastness of space, the majority of scientists argue that we should focus on more grounded theories. Nonetheless, the debate around Oumuamua shows just how much mystery and potential for discovery lies beyond our planet, inviting us to keep an open mind and continue exploring the cosmos. Ever since Oumuamua entered our sights, scientists have been puzzled, trying to fit this strange visitor into our understanding of space without resorting to far-out ideas like aliens. They've been brainstorming and have developed several theories that rely on natural phenomena to explain Oumuamua's odd characteristics and behavior. One of the simpler ideas is that Oumuamua could be a fragment that was once part of a larger celestial body, like a planet or an asteroid, that somehow got broken off a long time ago. This scenario is similar to finding a single piece of a jigsaw puzzle lying on the floor. You know it belongs to a bigger picture, but without the rest of the pieces, you're left guessing about the complete image.
But at the same time, you have to take into consideration, like, the fact that it was able to break off the trajectory in such a way that it was completely abnormal to the normal, like comets and asteroids and things of that nature that they see in space. So you have to put that into consideration and think about that. This is something big. It's called changing trajectory and velocity. You can't just do that on with nothing. It just doesn't do it on its own. It just doesn't happen like that. Something has to be behind it. There has to be other forces involved to create that propelling motion and also change in trajectory as well, the direction as well. So only other forces at work can do that. So I don't know what to think here, but they're going way off when they say that, I think.
So when we look at Oumuamua, we're seeing just a fragment without knowing what the original object looked like, or how the piece came to be separated from it. It's a bit like discovering a mysterious relic from a long-lost civilization. We can speculate about its origins and purpose, but without the full context, our understanding is incomplete. Another fascinating hypothesis that scientists have proposed
this is good.
that
This guy.
Oumuamua might be what's known as a hydrogen iceberg. Now, this is quite a novel idea, as it suggests that Oumuamua is essentially a massive chunk of frozen hydrogen gas.
It would explain the
This concept
propulsion.
is unusual because in the environments we're familiar with on Earth, hydrogen doesn't exist in a solid form. The idea here is that if Oumuamua originated in a much colder, distant part of the galaxy, it could theoretically be made of this exotic form of ice. As it traveled close to our sun, the theory suggests that the warmth from the sun caused the frozen hydrogen to turn directly into gas, a process called sublimation. This reaction could provide a gentle push, increasing Oumuamua's speed without producing the dramatic, visible tail commonly associated with comets. However, this hydrogen...
So it would be like a repel action of some sort. I don't know if I believe that. That doesn't sound right, because if it's coming back towards Earth, from what they're saying, that means there's something intelligent about it.
Iceberg theory is quite controversial and has sparked a lot of debate among the scientific community. There are significant challenges and questions regarding the survival of such an object. The journey through space is fraught with radiation and other forms of cosmic violence, which could potentially tear a fragile, frozen hydrogen object apart before it ever reached our solar system. Scientists argue back and forth over the viability of this hypothesis, weighing the likelihood of a hydrogen iceberg surviving the brutal conditions of interstellar travel. Some astronomers believe Oumuamua might be the very first example of an entirely new category of space wanderers, types of objects that are formed by unusual cosmic events in different star systems far away from ours. If this is true, it could mean that there are many more of these odd space nomads drifting around, just waiting for us to discover them.
I mean, the potential for this just to be a rock, I mean, that we've never seen anything like it before, just the fact that in all the time that they've spent from the very beginning till now, and they've never encountered something like this, really is something to take into consideration, because if it had been spotted, let's say, once or twice in the entire time of our observation of space, then that would kind of give me more of a feeling that, yes, what they're saying now may be possible, might be true, but something seems very odd about it. You know, you have to think about this. There's something very, very odd about it, and like I said, there's none of the physicists can explain exactly what caused its trajectory to change and the velocity and propulsion, so, to speed up, being propelled faster. So if they don't have any answers for this yet, it's really hard to speculate. It's like it's a hard thing to really try and guess. If we see more than one of these things coming in, let's say if it's not just this one, and you see, this could be just like a probe from a much larger entity, and of course they don't want people to know what it is, so they were going to put it to the shape of something natural, but it's cylindrical and long, and that would be an ideal shape, I would think, for space travel, interstellar space travel, something that's cylindrical and long. It can also, go enter into these areas. I don't know what I was going to say there, guys, but what I was trying to say was that the shape of it is important somehow, and I'm not sure exactly why. I know that aerodynamically, this cylinder shape is probably more conducive to interstellar travel. That's what I would think. I'm not sure, but let's see what they say. I could be wrong.
Finding more objects like Oumuamua would be like opening a solar neighborhood. Now, let's delve into the peculiar appearance of Oumuamua.
Here we go.
This space object has a shape that's got everyone talking.
Okay, good. I'm glad they're mentioning
It's
this.
incredibly long and thin, unlike any asteroid or comet
Okay,
we've ever
cool.
observed in our own solar system. Picture a cucumber, but but then stretch it out to be 10 times longer than its usual size, and you start to get an idea of Oumuamua's unusual dimensions.
It's interesting.
It's roughly 800 meters, or about half a mile, in length. Yet
That's
only
huge.
8 meters wide, giving
Damn.
it a sort of cosmic cigar or needle appearance. Trying to pin down its exact shape is a challenge, though, because it's so far away and hard to observe with even the most powerful telescopes. This difficulty adds to the mystery and excitement surrounding Oumuamua. Despite the distance and the blurriness of our view, we're confident it's shaped like nothing else we've seen before orbiting the sun.
That should tell you something.
Its unique structure and the way it moves through space have left scientists scratching their heads, wondering how it came to be and what forces could have shaped it. Going deeper into space secrets, what will we learn about Oumuamua's odd ways? The adventure into the unknown keeps going. The Red Riddle from Space. Oumuamua is not just smoothly sailing through space. Instead, it's spinning and turning in all directions. This wild
Interesting.
spinning makes many scientists believe that Oumuamua has been through a lot of troubles in the past. They think it might have smashed into something big or was quickly thrown away from where it used to belong. What's more interesting is that it's moving faster as it moves away from the sun.
But potentially, could that spinning also cause a what would it be called? It would be like another gravitational field within, if there is something or anything within the Oumuamua object itself. It would create some sort of centrifugal force, maybe, or some form of gravity inside of there by that spinning, because that was proposed a long time ago when they wanted to make a space station. They wanted to make it where it continuously spins. If you watch any of the movies like 2001 or 2010, any of these movies, they have some objects, some spaceships that are spinning like this and creating an artificial gravity type situation. And that's the only thing I can think of, especially the simple fact that it's spinning and it's that long. Of course, they're going to wonder if it got hit by something. But what if it's actually doing this? What if it's creating an artificial gravitational field? And maybe there are beings inside there that are able to move around. Because he said this thing is moving really fast. You know, so I'm just wondering if that could be something plausible.
This increase in speed isn't only because of the sun pulling on it. There seems to be an unknown force giving it an extra push.
That's what I
We're
thought.
still trying to figure out what that could be. The way Oumuamua looks gives us more hints. It has a deep red color, similar to objects found far beyond Neptune. This color is often seen when there are organic molecules on the surface. These molecules are the basic components for life. While this doesn't mean Oumuamua carries life, it suggests it has some of the essential ingredients. Its strange color, odd shape, and the mysterious forces acting on it make Oumuamua a real puzzle in the sky. It's like a story from a mystery book set in space, and every small detail we uncover about Oumuamua helps us to understand not just this strange object, but the entire universe in a better way. Imagine Oumuamua's journey through space. It's incredibly long and lonely, stretching across billions of years. As it moves through the dark, cold space between the stars, it faces a relentless attack from cosmic rays. These are not just ordinary particles, but supercharged ones that rush through space at incredible speeds. They bombard Oumuamua, changing its makeup and causing its surface to darken and turn reddish. This transformation is a significant clue for researchers. It suggests that Oumuamua has been wandering the galaxy for an incredibly long time, facing the harshness of space and getting marked by these cosmic encounters. This evidence from its long...
I mean, but what if it is an actual probe, though? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what doesn't have to, there doesn't have to be anybody. We have things that we send out as probes that are, you know, that we can control, from that kind of guides it and helps it to do whatever it needs to do. You know, probably way more advanced than what we have. We know we're on the cusp of something wonderful right now with quantum computing and AI, and we're brand new in the universe. You know, we're not even infants. You know, it's like, you know, we're very, very, very young. If in fact this came from closer to the center of the universe or galaxy or towards that direction, going, from inward outward, that means that whatever this is connected to has to be quite a bit, I would say billions of years older than us. And it would be interesting if it was a probe, and they're just collecting data to send back, and then they're going to send their troops in, and then Armageddon's going to break down. The Antichrist will show up. I'm just kidding, guys. And then we'll all have to praise God, and I'm not going to make fun of that because people might think I'm mocking God, but I'm just saying that so many people think this way. You have a lot of people that are thinking that anything that happens in the heavens and space is only a product of something spiritual, which I believe everything's spiritual in essence. I do. But I do believe some things that we have to use our common sense and logic to try and figure out certain aspects of it. There are certain aspects of it that you cannot use logic for, but we should.
Journey adds to the mystery and excitement of studying such a unique space object. Now, let's dive deeper into the mystery of cosmic rays and their effects. These are not just simple beams of energy zipping through space. They are powerful forces that can fundamentally alter the nature of space objects. What's truly remarkable is that cosmic rays have the ability to create complex organic molecules. Think of these not as living creatures, but more like the very first steps on the ladder of life, the basic components needed to start the engine of life. This revelation is nothing short of astounding, because it hints that Oumuamua might be more than a mere wandering stone in the vastness of space. It might actually be a carrier, a vessel, of the very elements that can lead to the creation of life as we understand.
Basically what he's saying is a giant universal penis flying through the air that's going to hit a planet, penetrate the planet like a man does a woman, and eventually multiply itself into life. That's what they're saying. That's what this is about, guys. This is an interstellar X-rated porno. And I'm just kidding, guys. Sorry about that. I'm being dumb. I know.
The immense amount of time it has spent voyaging through the voids of space, under the unrelenting exposure to all manners of cosmic phenomena, could have turned its surface into a complex canvas painted with a wide variety of chemicals and compounds. The environment of interstellar space, the grand stage on which Oumuamua has been silently drifting, is brutally unforgiving. Yet, this brutal world acts as an unlikely preserver of celestial objects. The deep cold and vast emptiness of space serve as a perfect preservation chamber. There are no blazing suns nearby to scorch their surfaces, no atmospheres to erode them away with wind and weather. In this light, Oumuamua can be seen not just as a piece of cosmic debris, but as a relic from the distant past, a bearer of untold stories from billions of years ago. Its odyssey through the dark, almost void-like stretches between stars has possibly maintained its surface in a state very similar to when it was first hurled into the depths of space, making it a precious time capsule from the cosmos. Adding to this cosmic tale is the fact that Oumuamua's journey has been far from solitary. Our solar system, a bustling community with planets, moons, and the sun, each exerts its own gravitational influence. This complex dance of gravity affected Oumuamua as it ventured through our cosmic neighborhood. This is where the real detective work begins for astronomers. They use telescopes, radars, and mathematical models, acting as cosmic sleuths to trace Oumuamua's trajectory and velocity as it navigated through our solar system's gravitational maze. By meticulously tracking how Oumuamua's path and speed changed as it curved past the sun and darted by planets, scientists can attempt to rewind. It's about unraveling the interconnected stories of celestial bodies across the universe. Each interaction Oumuamua had within our solar system adds a piece to the jigsaw puzzle of our cosmic neighborhood's dynamics and history. Understanding Oumuamua helps scientists understand more about the nature of other celestial bodies, the formation of solar systems, and even the distribution of potential life-forming materials across the universe. So, in studying Oumuamua, we are not just learning about a distant object, We are learning about the building blocks of our own world and perhaps the seeds of life itself that travel.
I wonder if he's referring to a form of panspermia, something like that. But I was joking about, the giant universal or penis flying through the universe or whatever. But that's kind of like what panspermia is that something comes from, an object carrying all the components of life in it, all the ingredients, and then hits the earth, maybe in the water, and was able to, because that's where life stemmed from, was the water, right? Biologically. And maybe that's what they're referring to here. But I just don't feel that something that is flying around like that in space, just floating around there at different trajectories and moving almost intelligently from what they're saying, is going to carry all the components to life on it. May have some. Maybe the components that they're seeing is where it comes from. Maybe where it sits on the planet that it came from has the components, and they're just seeing the remnants of that as it floats through space, or what it's composed of as well. What it's composed of, they're not sure what it is composed of, but that could also lean towards the idea that it came from a world that was habitable, if it's carrying the similar components to what we have.
Across the cosmos, hidden in these enigmatic space travelers. The story gets more exciting as we follow Oumuamua's path. Can we solve the space puzzles it leaves behind? Catching a wild ride on star gravity. Let's now dive into a fascinating concept known as the gravity assist maneuver, which is somewhat like a cosmic slingshot effect. Picture yourself in an intergalactic game of tag. Suddenly, you whoosh close to a massive celestial body like a planet or a star, and you get a significant speed boost from its gravity, propelling you forward much faster than before. This is what happens in the vastness of space. Scientists study these gravity-driven speed boosts that an object, such as Oumuamua, experiences as it makes its way past the titanic occupants of space, like the planets and stars in our solar system. They meticulously tally these boosts, which accumulate throughout Oumuamua's celestial voyage. By doing so, they turn into cosmic sleuths, tracing back Oumuamua's interstellar odyssey in an attempt to pinpoint its origin. This task of space detective work has been taken up by numerous scientists who are on a quest to identify the star systems or individual stars that Oumuamua might have encountered during its journey across the cosmos. They speculate about clusters of young stars, and even specific stars, such as HYPE 3757 and HD 292249, that could have had close encounters with Oumuamua many eons ago. But piecing together the exact stellar neighborhood from which Oumuamua emerged is immensely challenging. Our understanding of Oumuamua's precise speed and its trajectory through the cosmic expanses is incomplete. Moreover, the galaxy is akin to a bustling cosmic freeway, with stars and planetary systems in constant motion, complicating the tracking of Oumuamua's original path. If Oumuamua experienced any propulsion from releasing material akin to a cosmic jet, this would add another layer of complexity to deducing its precise route. As Oumuamua ventures through the space between stars, it's navigating through what is known as the interstellar medium, a sparse but expansive mixture that could be likened to an incredibly diluted cosmic broth consisting of minuscule dust particles, gases, and swiftly moving charged particles. Despite the sheer tenuity of this space soup, over vast stretches of time, it exerts a cumulative influence on objects, produces an additional element of mystery to Oumuamua's story. When scientists attempt to reconstruct the colossal journey that Oumuamua has undertaken, they must consider these slight, persistent nudges. The task is similar to mapping out an epic road trip across an ever-changing, boundless stellar landscape. Oumuamua is a mysterious visitor from a place far beyond our family of stars, making it extraordinarily unique and fascinating. Unlike the usual objects we see in our sky, such as planets, asteroids, and comets that orbit our sun, Oumuamua doesn't belong to our solar system. It's like a stranger from a distant neighborhood in the vast cosmos, journeying through space from another star system altogether. Imagine someone from a completely different country, but even more extraordinary. This visitor comes from an entirely different corner of our Milky Way galaxy. The discovery of Oumuamua back in 2017 created a huge wave of excitement all around the world, especially among people who love stars, planets, and all things space. The astronomers, but also just regular folks who find space really cool. Before Oumuamua showed up, most of the things we found in space were from around here, from our own solar neighborhood, like asteroids from our asteroid belt or comets from the edges of our solar system. But Oumuamua, it was something special, something different. It wasn't just another piece of space rock floating around. It was our very first look at something that came from beyond, far beyond, the familiar boundaries of our solar system. Imagine how a kid feels when they catch a rare butterfly or find a unique seashell on the beach. That's how these space experts felt about Oumuamua. This wasn't just about seeing a new kind of space object. It was about getting a peek at the stuff that exists out in the vast, mysterious stretches of space that lie beyond our own solar backyard.
I mean, you could say technically that this thing literally traveled through time and space. From whence it came from, whatever part of the universe it came from, and then it made it all the way here to our part of the universe and close to our planet and our sun. So it carries with it so much information, probably, and so much intrigue as well, because we don't know what to make of this thing. But the fact that it's come from so far away is intriguing in itself. And remember, that we know of in this part of the galaxy, we pretty much have not observed any other life. That's what they say, right? So it brings into the question, is our planet and our solar system something special? Are we the only ones in this entire fucking universe? Excuse my language. It irks me like crazy, because I try to figure this out. Like, are we the only ones in this universe? Could it be that somehow, and if that was the case, that we were the only ones in the entire universe, then it would seem even more plausible that maybe there is this, manifestation of a God that created us here on this planet, and there's no one else outside of it. I mean, the idea of God could be there if there was an entire universe filled, and there was a plethora of life out there. If that was the case, it would still be amazing, but I don't know like what to think, because the whole idea that we're alone floating in space in this 14 billion years apart from the origin of the supposed origin of the Big Bang, or where the universe supposedly started, that's a lot of like space and time, and it doesn't make any sense that we would be the only ones here. There has to be something else that can, give us an idea of what's out there, and there's probably things we can't even see. Look at dark matter. Dark matter, we can only see the effects of light bending around it, and that's it. But we have no other information really to collect than what it does to light. So it's really strange. So most likely, there's probably other spectrums of light that we don't even know of, or something, like that. And just like other dimensions that we can't perceive because we're beyond it, I'm sure that there's other dimensions, parallel universes, aliens, different species, interdimensional species maybe. I'm sure that all these things exist. I mean, you have to think there's got to be something to some of these ancient books that they talk about all these things, right? Unless you have to think like this: if this doesn't exist, then sci-fi was really written by these ancient people thousands of years ago. Because if you read some of the stuff they talk about, and the flying machines and and the gods with all their powers and stuff, that's some real sci-fi shit. That's where we get our sci-fi from, is from them. So who's the original people that wrote sci-fi and about all these things, like the Anunnaki and the ancient Sumerian text and the Nephilim? You know, I mean, this is really weird, guys, when you think about it, you know?
It's like getting a message in a bottle from the vast ocean of the cosmos. This is why Oumuamua wasn't just another discovery. It was a big deal. A really big deal. Let's delve deeper into Oumuamua's journey. In the vastness of space, most celestial bodies in our solar system follow specific paths around the sun, resembling elongated circles or ovals known as orbits. These paths are predictable and keep these bodies gravitationally tied to the sun. However, Oumuamua doesn't conform to these rules. It follows what is known as a hyperbolic trajectory, a term that might sound complicated but simply means it's on a one-way trip through our solar system. Unlike the repeating loops of planets and comets, Oumuamua visited our sun once, received a significant boost in speed from the sun's gravity, and is now on its way out of our solar system forever. This makes Oumuamua not just a wanderer, but a cosmic sprinter, racing away on a path that will take it out into the depths of space, never to return to our solar neighborhood again. This unique behavior provides scientists with a rare opportunity to study an object from a completely different part of our galaxy, offering clues about the vast, mysterious universe beyond our immediate view. As Oumuamua's space visit ends, what last secrets is it sharing? Our space mystery story is about to get even more interesting. The never-returning ancient space guest. The acceleration Oumuamua experienced is simply mind-blowing. Imagine this. It sped up to around 26 kilometers per second. To put that into perspective, it's as if you were able to race from one end of a city to the other in just a blink. No car, airplane, or even the fastest rockets that we've created here on Earth can match that speed. It's so incredibly fast that it's not just leaving our sun behind in its cosmic rear-view mirror, it's actually exiting the entire solar system. Now, it's hurtling towards a region of the sky we call the constellation Pegasus, and it doesn't have any plans to return.
The idea that they're talking about how fast this thing is intriguing. If it really is moving that fast, and it maybe did get a little bit of propulsion from getting the gravitational force from the sun, most things in space, most objects will get caught up in the gravitational field of these large bodies, these larger bodies. For this to break the trajectory of that gravitational field by the forces of the celestial bodies that are there in our solar system, and then break away and go straight through our solar system is fascinating. At the speeds of what he's talking about is extremely fascinating. I wish they would find out more information about this Oumuamua.
It's like a migratory bird that senses it's time to move to a warmer climate for the winter. Except Oumuamua's departure isn't for the season, it's forever. Let's think about Oumuamua's visit as a singular, once-in-a-lifetime event. Due to its astonishing velocity, the gravitational pull of the sun, powerful as it is, cannot coax it back for a repeat performance. Imagine tossing a ball with such force that it doesn't just fall outside your yard, but it continues beyond the surrounding trees, the distant mountains, and keeps on traveling without ever stopping. That's what Oumuamua is doing, but on an interstellar scale. After it whizzed past us, all our astronomers could do was to track its journey, crunch and continue on its solitary trek across the universe, drifting through the endless sea of stars in our Milky Way.
Okay, if you look at this and you really think about what the actual truth of the matter is, if this is a probe, an alien probe that's coming through our solar system here, close to Earth, and zipping around the sun and breaking off trajectory and doing all these fancy things that it's doing, I'm sure that all the governments of the world, the entire planet, know as well as whatever that is and whatever's controlling it, we both know that there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing that we can do on this planet if that thing decided to come to Earth. You know, we probably don't even have the technology to even you know, put up a small fight. It would be so much further advanced than we are. So we have to take a look at all these things and take this into consideration as well. We've heard from these same biblical stories and many other, you know, sources of theology and mythology and all these things from around the world. They all talk about beings that came from heaven to earth, right? I went back to the Sumerians. You know, if you go back to the Aztecs and you know, there's so many different ancient people, indigenous people of certain areas that always speak of the people that come from heaven to earth, taught them how to cultivate the land and all these other things and blah, 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 right? But they said they would come back, right? They all said that they're going to come back, but they never said when. The most interesting part to me is that if you understand the idea of how fast this thing travels, and if there's something, maybe it travels even faster than that, we don't even know. We're just getting to see what we can observe, right? If it does get close to the speed of light, that means it could take, for them, it would be a few months. For us, it would be 2,000 years. You know, so there's a big difference, you know. If it's just say traveling at light speed, man, somehow, I'm just saying, I don't know how, but let's say if it had something close to that in speed-wise, or it knew about wormholes somehow, can manipulate wormholes somehow, you know, like I said, that 2,000 years for us would be nothing for them. It could even be just a day or you know, or I would think probably closer to months or years or something like that. But 2,000 years, about 2 millennia going by, there would be a difference because, you know, we get our time by the revolution on its axis, the Earth, and then going around the sun, right? And in its orbit. And, you know, we get day and night, and then we get the entire 365 days, right, in the year. And time is a completely different matter when it comes to light speed, right? You can't calculate it the same way. So, or even a wormhole, you know, so it kind of doesn't even factor in the same way. So, like I said, the time differential between us and somebody traveling at light speed is definitely a big factor. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just proposing ideas. If you guys have any ideas of your own or feedback, definitely hit me up and, you know, let me know what you think. But this is where some of the things that go through my mind, you know.
It might cross paths with other solar systems, or wander the lonely stretches between the stars, continuing its silent voyage across the cosmos for countless years to come. Oumuamua is like a giant cosmic arrow that came zooming in from the starry skies, pointing right at us. Think of it as a giant space pointer. Scientists have been very busy studying the way Oumuamua moves. They noticed it travels in a straight line, much unlike the circular paths that our own planets, like Earth and Mars, take when they go around the sun. This straight way of moving, which the smart space folks call a hyperbolic trajectory, is a big clue. It suggests that Oumuamua didn't come from our own solar backyard. Instead, it looks like it traveled a very, very long distance, coming from a place far beyond our own star group, from a different part of the vast universe. Now, the direction Oumuamua came from is another interesting piece of the puzzle. It seems to have shot in from the area of the sky where we see the constellation called Lyra. Imagine looking up at the night sky and pointing to a group of stars. That's what Lyra is, a pattern in the stars far above us. But here's the tricky part. Even though we have a good guess about the direction it came from, figuring out exactly which star or planet Oumuamua...
It's not leaving any kind of breadcrumbs behind from what they said so far. They don't have anything. So that's interesting, too. It doesn't leave any kind of, like, exhaust of any sort behind it where you could actually get some kind of, you know, idea of where it came from.
That's because space is just so big, unimaginably big. And Oumuamua could have been traveling through this vast space for millions or even billions of years, which is a very long time. So, while we have some clues, there's still a lot of mystery about where exactly this space visitor came from.
The other thing that I look at, too, is we have something, if you ever watch Billy Carson, Billy Carson talks about the Sumerian text. He's like, after Zechariah Sitchin, Billy Carson is like the next scholar and guy that knows everything about this, and he deciphered as well himself the Sumerian text, cuneiform text, and basically translated a lot of it. And his book on Thoth, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Thoth, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth or something like that. But he really explains. If you one of these days, I'm going to put one of his videos on here at some point. We could watch it, but and we can talk about it as well. It'd be great to get a conversation on that. But he says a lot of things that are really interesting when it comes to ancient objects. He also did a video on something that was floating in space. It's this dark, like chunk of something that's just floating, around our planet. It's orbiting our planet. And some people have come to the conclusion that it's been there for over 60,000 years or more. And it's called the Dark Knight, which is interesting. And it doesn't move that much from where it orbits around the Earth. And it's always, from what he said, I believe it was always facing the Earth. He thinks that it's something sent from another planet to keep observation of what's happening on the Earth. And if you think about it, if there was a much higher intelligent species, they would be smart enough to say, okay, let's just put a rock up there. So when they look up, they'll just see this black rock floating through space. They can't really make anything of it. It doesn't look metallic in any way. It doesn't look anything like anything they can recognize as machinery. And that would be the best way to basically infiltrate another lower level species like us. It's almost like a Trojan horse. You know the term Trojan horse, right? So it's almost like a Trojan horse infiltration. The fact that it can be just orbiting around the planet, or even Oumuamua, not even just the Black Knight, but Oumuamua coming through into our part of the solar system, and then doing what it did and jetting right back out, even faster. So, like I said, there's all kinds of things you can speculate here, guys. I would love to hear your feedback, comments. See what you think. Not see, but hear what you think, see, yeah, because I have to read it, right? All right, let's see what he says.
Trying to pin down the exact origin of Oumuamua in the immense expanse of space is a massive challenge. Imagine the vastness of a beach filled with countless grains of sand. Now think about trying to find out where just one of those tiny grains first came from, which specific rock it broke off from millions of years ago. That's a bit like the task facing astronomers when they try to figure out Oumuamua's home.
It's also a bit like the task that when we try to figure out, who's God, right? Because the reason I say that is that there are so many different people on this planet that have different ideas. A lot of them have clinged on to the most ancient ideas of what God is, like the most ancient concepts of God. Not the most ancient, because the most ancient concepts of God go long before the Torah, long before the Quran, long before the Bible, long before the Gita. They go into the ancient Sumerian texts, and even further back. In Africa, they have even older things that they considered God. So if you were to look at God as a progression of ideas from the very first people in society, in the very first societies, up to this day, what it originally was, what the first concepts were. But it'd be interesting to get a timeline. I did see they had a show, a documentary, Zeitgeist. I think it was Zeitgeist that showed a sort of evolution of where the idea of God came from and how the sun was connected to everything, like the morning star, and how they used Christ and almost every religion, going back to the Hinduism, even into Islam, all of them show these different ideas, similar ideas in different ways, right? And different concepts, but very similar in nature and essence. And you can see the same story over and over, and it's interesting that they have this. Because for some reason, this just made me think of that. It's like, we have to try and trace the origin of the idea of God. Is like, is like that same thing, like looking at the sand, because going back in time of how many different people and how peoples and ideas and societies, and we, what is it, how different is it today than it was back from the very beginning? I wonder.
The universe is incredibly large and filled with stars, planets, and other celestial bodies, all moving and changing over time. Despite the high levels of expertise and technology we have, this is still a daunting task because space is not just big. It's filled with mysteries and complexities that we are just beginning to understand. However, the direction from which Oumuamua arrived in our solar system gives scientists valuable hints. It's like having a compass that points not to the north, but to a specific area in the cosmic ocean far beyond our own solar system's boundaries. This information, while it might seem small, is actually a big piece of the cosmic puzzle. It adds to our understanding of the universe's structure and how objects move through space, offering a glimpse into the regions beyond our own solar neighborhood, which is our immediate cosmic surroundings. As for whether Oumuamua will come back to visit Earth, the answer is pretty much no. Imagine a spaceship flying past a planet, moving so fast that it doesn't get caught in the planet's gravitational pull, but instead keeps zipping straight ahead on its journey. That's what Oumuamua is doing. Its path through our solar system was a straight line, not the kind of loop or orbit that would bring it back around to us. It's like a cosmic traveler that stopped by for a quick visit and is now continuing on its journey, never to return within our lifetimes or even the lifetimes of the next several generations. This is a unique event, a rare and fleeting moment where we got to witness a visitor from the depths of space.
Or it could be sending an armada back towards us at this very moment. And, we're going to wake up tomorrow and there's going to be in the news that aliens have attacked us and they look like a bunch of cigars. All the spaceships are like tons of cigars in space, cylindrical objects flying through space around us, and they all land here on Earth. And, oh yeah, that would be wild.
Pass through our own celestial neighborhood. But just because Oumuamua is a one-off visitor and not coming back doesn't take away from its importance.
Okay, the way it looks like there is like a piece of poop. I didn't like that picture, actually. It's like, imagine that's not even something I should even think, but because I should be smarter than this. But imagine if it was like a giant piece of poop from some other giant entity out there, and we're looking at it like, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. My God! And all these physicists are studying it. Meanwhile, there's let's say Leviathan or something, that took a dump in space, and here we are. Wow, that's intriguing. That's amazing. What could this be? Eventually we get it. We find out some giant piece of feces. Then we have to try and figure out what the hell took a poop this large. I'm sorry, guys. I'm stupid. I know.
In fact, you could think of Oumuamua as a sort of cosmic messenger or ambassador. It's carrying with it secrets from a distant part of our galaxy, cruising by us by chance. Even though it doesn't send messages or signals, the information we can gather by observing its speed, trajectory, and physical properties is invaluable. By studying these aspects, scientists can uncover clues about the conditions and forces at play in other parts of the Milky Way. Has Oumuamua unveiled the true vastness and mystery of our universe?
That was amazing. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed this. This thing here, like I said, I gave you all my ideas and speculations there. And it came down to the idea that I think it's a piece of shit flying through space. No, I'm just kidding, guys. It's not a piece of shit flying through space. But it would be funny if it was. And this shows about the amount of intelligence that our planet has. Wow, it's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. My God. We have a long ways to go, and I'm just playing, guys. Just remember that I'm just joking. But yeah, if you guys have any comments and any feedback or anything, or any questions or whatever, just definitely hit me up, and I'll definitely do my best to try to give you whatever I can. And I'd love to hear your explanations, your ideas as well. And maybe we can do a video on it as well. If any of you are willing to get up and speak about it, that would be just as cool too. All right, guys. So, look, I loved watching this video and sharing it with you guys. I'm going to go back to living my lonely life here and being alone, and probably do another video because I'm so lonely, and talk to myself some more because I can only see the screen. I don't have anybody in front of me, so this is great. I get to be crazy on YouTube, like it's legally, as I'm talking to myself. Really, there's no one here. I'm talking to a potential audience, a virtual audience that doesn't really exist physically here with me. But anyway, guys, I'll leave you guys with that. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Stay safe. Watch out for that piece of shit flying through space. I'm just kidding, guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Remember, if you like my stuff, please hit that subscribe button. That's going to help me out quite a great deal. I'm trying to get my own private jet. And I'm just kidding, guys. I'm not looking for a private jet. My own private piece of shit in space, actually. And if you can help me to afford one of those, I'll be very happy. But all right, guys, I'll see you in the next video, all right?